We start our journey at Tarleton Lock on the Rutherford branch of the Leeds-Liverpool Canal, where we prepare to take a narrowboat on tour to take it across to the Ribble Link. In this video we'll take you down the River Douglas, up the River Ribble into Preston Dock, from Preston Dock up the Ribble Link to the Lancaster Canal, then return down the link with the boats attending the Rivers Way Festival, and then bring you back across the River Ribble to Tarleton. We'll also show you some of the dangers that lie under the water on the River Ribble. There you can see the flow on the river as it flows past the lock. Tarleton Boatyard is a long established boatyard which used to manufacture sea-going vessels and then moved on to the short boats of the Leeds and Liverpool Canal. It used to be run by James Mayer and Son, who used to also have a boatyard at Wigan. Here we see Jim Wilkinson giving us a demonstration. Not time.
Do all pitches, that'll do. You want a bit of whipping really around the bends. That comes over like that. Rigger that I learnt with, he used to just Slicing them like this all the time, smoking away. Big pile of them there, slings for dockers. Of course that were in with dinner hour when we was watching them, Ken. Yeah, I don't know, they were the happiest days of my life on the dock. I was never late. I've 1 week off in 25 years. I'm not saying I didn't go feeling under the weather, but in them days you could like a nod and get out of the way for an hour or two, couldn't you? You know, then. Three tucks is enough for anything. If you for splice, 3 tucks would do. And then you put it down, roll it with your foot. You'd whip them and just put them off. That's it. That there should be melting. As Ken says, they have a knife now that's coupled to electric hot, and you just cuts through them it nice and seals it as well.
We now head down River Douglas towards the boatyard. It used to be known as Shepherd's Boatyard. Look around a couple of bends, come to some moored boats and then a pontoon. The water at this point is probably about 15 foot deep.
I didn't know before Blackboard, his father died in 93. He made this year boat rent up.
Here we have some of the boats moored at the boatyard. This boatyard has now started building narrowboats. Here we have a new marker buoy that's arrived in the river. I believe it's some of the bank has washed into the river. Or it could be the chains holding the pontoon, which the boats are moored on further down.
Because once you get a storm down here, there's big trees right down that side, and they damage water. The mate's gone on best for it. It's a 5 foot. I'm sure it is. Hitler's boats that Hitler's navy anyway. This one here was used as a boarding boat off the destroyers, and that was done up at Harry's. Hi Eddie! Alright! Oh, have you done it? Good! Sorry!
As you come to the end of the pontoon, the river bends to the left. You are now about 2.5 miles from the River Ribble. There's a lot of wildlife on this stretch of the river. Canada geese, shell ducks, mallards. Just be aware of vessels coming up from the River Ribble. There we have some Canada geese. These drums mark the training wall of the River Douglas. There's also some perches further down.
Anyway, when we got back, Ken got hold of one and said, "What were you doing, Mike? Why did you do that?" Well, you were on the wrong side. Grabbing over. Just doesn't give you time. You start to play with anchor. Out goes wrong. We start playing with anchor. Anchor, such as if we got anchor now, should be on bank. So, it's no good really. And how can happen? Pick some up round prop. Everybody to their own hobby, eh? It's better than sitting in bloody town centre on a seat, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a good day to come down today, with it being some fishermen about.
Yeah.
on certain tides, a lot of the grassland on the right hand side will be underwater. So you need to abide by the markers which you need to keep on your right hand side. These are some more of the training wall markers, but some of them have washed it together to keep to the outside of those markers, as there's a training wall underneath there. There's training wall runs
The red sails always seem to suit the boat.
training wall.
That red
Oh, like
sail
that,
boat
yeah.
there.
Yeah, that as well.
It look good, doesn't it?
Well, we're taking sail down. Must be going up. Right, wind's right ahead of him, isn't it?
Yeah. It should be coming straight down here with easterly, isn't it? Touch of south here. Bought that.
You need to keep to the seaward side of the 5 Mile Perch, as there's a training wall runs from the headland on your right out to the 5 Mile Perch, and there's a large sandbank built up against the wall.
Just lent Harry a book. It's written by he's a 90-year-old chap that lived in Houseboat at Guide's house. Just before they built the runway there, were them 2 sailing boats are there with white sails on,
Yeah.
which is about 6 mile. There used to be what they call Guide's house there. It was a smallish hotel, and it was for guides to walk them across the river. One at first crossing points to walk them across, and I think there were 2 of them that were guides, 2 people that were Guide's house, and it's some photographs of the houseboats along Bottom-up Bank there. Now, my dad and my mum, older brother and sister, eldest sister, actually spent 5 or 6 years just before war living in these houseboats. They were big boats at Foot-up Bank there. And then when war started in 39, Yanks come and they knocked the Guide's house down and shifted all the boats and cleaned it all for airfield. And they built the damned airfield, and then, like, looking back, no need to have knocked them down. It was just...
Yeah, they could still been there, yeah.
They could have still been there. But it was a good meeting place for stagecoaches on the way to like Blackpool and Fleetwood. They used to stop off there and have something to eat and drink, like. There was Guide's house there, which was a ford to cross, and then according to in the book, they had another one here at Frefferton Crew where they used to ford them across, and then he said at Leah, further up at Leah Marsh, where Beefeater is, they had a boatman ferried them across, and then the next ford was where Pemberton Bridge is.
Well, when they were doing Leeds Liverpool, they did talk of putting a tramway across here, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
Lancaster.
That's right, they did talk about a tramway, yeah. Yeah. Why the heck did they think to have it built at that time? I don't understand that.
No, I think they would have done, wouldn't they?
Yeah, you would have, yeah, you would.
To 5 Mile Perch here today.
Yeah. Difficult lamp to put up with that one. But we couldn't get the barge there to put a pile in, to drive a pile. So we had to take navvies down.